Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Johnny Rock Stadium. It's another sunny match day here in Cheltenham Town against Colchester United in League Two. Not many games left to go this season, and it's another very important one today. Of course, another 3 points today for the Robins. It will be a difficult game, a major step forward to achieving automatic promotion to League One after the midweek win at Stevenage on Tuesday. We're live on Teamsheet live here at the Johnny Rock before kick-off. I'm delighted to say I've got Tom Chamberlain and Grant Horton with me, two of the most talented youngsters to have come through the Cheltenham Town Academy in recent years. So I'm going to be asking Tom and Grant some questions in a few minutes' time. And of course, feel free to get involved as well on our live chat here on the YouTube channel. I'll quickly run through the team news though, because it is, of course, 2 o'clock. And this is how Cheltenham line up this afternoon. In goal for the Robins is Josh Griffiths in goal. The back three today is Sean Long, Ben Tozer and Charlie Raglan. The wing backs are Matty Blair and Chris Hussey. Midfield three of Connor Thomas, Liam Sercombe and Finn Azaz. And a front two of Sam Smith and George Lloyd. So the same 11 that played on Tuesday at Stevenage. The bench today is Scott Flinders, the substitute goalkeeper, Lewis Freestone, Karen Wright, Ellis Chapman, Indiana Vasilev, Alfie May and Andy Williams. So that's the lineup for Michael Duff's team today at the Johnny Rock Stadium. And I'm delighted to say that two of Michael Duff's squad, Chamberlain and Grant, are with me. Lads, hope you're all good.
All good, yeah.
Good to have you here live on the Teamsheet live. Grant, I'll start with yourself, because this is, of course, both been your first season in professional football. How has it been for you months into it?
Yeah, it's been brilliant, actually. Being in every day with the squad, it's been brilliant. But yeah, to be a professional footballer, it's a dream come true, really. And just keep working hard and improving every day.
I was going to ask about the physical demands. So of course, you both were pushed up, weren't you, from like under 18s into first team when you were still under 18s players, because you were obviously wanting to get you up to speed and so on. What have the physical demands been like? Do you feel like much more of an athlete now as opposed to like a youth athlete?
Little boy, yeah. But yeah, the demands are a lot tougher. You see, going from 18s to the men's game, it's a lot different. Obviously, you're putting on a bit of muscle and you're getting a lot more physical opponents as well. So being in the youth team, you're not getting that exposure really. So yeah, it's been really tough, but enjoying it.
You were both at the club from a young age on the academy. Chamber, you are though, of course, a Cheltenham boy. Has it been pretty cool to represent your hometown club this season, and of course last season as well?
Yeah, it's been a dream come true, like Grant said, especially for me from Cheltenham as a fan as well, and family as fans and all my mates as well. It's been a dream come true.
Yeah, and in terms of your memories, I know obviously you're a Hereford boy, Grant. What are your sort of memories of standing on the terraces and watching games here? And then, of course, following in the footsteps of those players you watched?
There's a lot of them, to be fair. Like all the FA Cup games, they were good. Everton at home, West Ham, Tottenham away, stuff like that. And obviously when we got to the playoffs, that was it 12-13 season?
Yep, against Crewe in the final, yeah.
But yeah, it was all good experiences. It's a dream come true to be here.
Definitely, and Grant, for you, obviously you've come in all the way from Hereford. That's been a big commitment over several years.
Yeah.
To travel that sort of distance in. What's it? I suppose you're getting the reward now, aren't you?
Yeah, exactly. I used to get in from school, get in the kit, eating tea in the car on the way to training. But yeah, it's nice to see the reward in the end. But yeah, it's tough and glad to be here.
And as a youth team player, and the academy players watching this and at the club who are now doing what you were doing a few years ago, what sort of are the demands, like in terms of how many nights a week do you train and things like that?
Well, I used to train twice a week, I think it was, in the evenings. So it was probably like 6 o'clock, getting home from school, get in the car, do my homework in the car, eat my tea in the car, and then get back at like 10 maybe, to then go into school the next morning. But it's all worth it, so it's all paid off, yeah.
100%. And of course, Chamber, you are All Saints Academy pupil. What were you like at your schools then? Because obviously when you got your football, you're big into football, passionate, but also your classroom stuff. What were you like at that?
Not very good. School's alright. Obviously when you're young, you just think, obviously I know a lot of people like this as well, but you just think professional footballer, I'm going to be there, I don't need school and stuff like that. And I regret doing it in a way, but also I just didn't really enjoy school as much anyway. So,
big PE fan?
Yeah, PE. Always wanted to do PE, but nothing. I have no maths or anything. Not good at maths.
Well, let's have a quick look on it. Bertie Bell, he says, hi Tom, hi Grant. As does Charlie Warren, he says, hi Richard, Tom, Grant. Good to see you. Charlie, I'll quickly run through the Colchester team as well, because of course their team news is out ahead of this afternoon's game. In goal for the U's today, Shamal George, Miles Welch-Hayes, Tommy Smith, Harry Pell, of course, captains Colchester today, Callum Harriott, Noah Chilvers, Tom Eastman, Ryan Clampin, Brandon Wiradu, Michael Falevi, and Frank Newblay make up the starting 11 for the U's today. The Colchester bench is Dean Kirkin as the substitute goalkeeper, Tom Lapsley, Omar Swumney, Aramid Ote, Ben Stevenson, Josh Buhai, and Junior Teacher Maidu. I think I pronounced that last one right. We'll give it a good go. Isaiah Evershed says, Grant Horton, I love you. So there you go. That's a nice comment to get. There you go, the Colchester starting lineup then. And of course, one name stands out to everyone watching. Knows that, and he's been spoken about a lot here, obviously the contribution he made to the club, and that's Harry Pell. Memories of Harry Pell maybe from when you watched him playing for Cheltenham?
A lot of like pranks around the training grounds, even when we were younger. But yeah, on the pitch, he's an athlete, he's a good player, got around well, a few good goals against Forest Green and Grimsby and stuff like that, so it was good.
Of course, he plays in the same position as you, central midfielder, and similar to you, he's quite a good physical size. Does your physicality play sort of major part in terms of, how you play as a midfielder?
Yeah, of course it does, because you're seen, obviously, if you play against little people, you're seen as the big ones, so they've got to try and get around you and stuff like that, but you just got to boss the midfield, really, no matter your size or anything like that, so it's good. It's me being big because I can use my body to get around.
Definitely. A question that's coming in then for both of you. This one's from Sam Nair. He says, has George Lloyd given any advice or tips on what is needed to move from the youth team to the first team?
Yeah, he's had some. He's been great actually. It's been great to see him step up and be a regular first team player really. So just to show that it can be done, and it gives you that motivation to want to be in there as well and be the next one.
100%, and it's interesting, isn't it? Because Lloyd is 21 years old. And still young, learning, developing. The manager himself spoke about that after the game on Tuesday at Stevenage. But yet there's still an element of Lloyd where you're like, wow, he's played 50, 60 games. So it just goes to show in football how quickly it can go through.
Yeah.
And I suppose in many ways, Grant, you've been out on loan, haven't you, since literally the age of 16.
Yeah.
Worcester City, Bromsgrove Sporting, Yate Town, Chippenham, Bath City. You've had more clubs than Tiger Woods. So that loan experience is massive, isn't it? You have played a lot of games where you're only 18, 19.
Yeah, it's good to get that exposure at such a young age. You see the difference, obviously being at 16, playing in a men's game, getting elbows and everything everywhere. But it's a good thing that the club do to push you out on loan early to get that exposure and make you ready for the team as early as possible.
Completely. And Chamber, you're another one who's gone out on loan. Worcester, Evesham, Alvechurch, across 3 different levels there. What was it like going into those change rooms? Because of course you've been a part of the Cheltenham setup for so long, and suddenly you go into this change room and you're a new player and probably expected to perform because you're coming from a football league club.
Yeah, exactly. The hardest thing was probably, like I said, the dressing room, because people from different areas, stuff like that, and non-league is everyone knows everyone, and they all have played together before, whether that was 10 years ago or the same season. So it's difficult, but it's good as well because you're getting used to, as Grant said, the exposure of men's football, whether that's in the dressing room or whether you're starting or you're not starting. So it's good.
Yeah, definitely. Let's go some more questions we've had in then. Lee Randall says, what is the best bit of advice that Michael Duff has given you so far?
I think a big one is the mindset, change in mindset. He's big on like hard work and everything pays you back. So working hard really has been the main one for me.
Definitely. One he said, probably just be yourself on the football pitch. Don't try changing how you play to suit someone else or to show off. Just be you on the football pitch.
And I suppose, we speak about people like George Lloyd being an inspiration in many ways for even lads like you, even though he's just a couple of years or 2 or 3 years older. Michael's probably the classic inspiration, isn't he? He did what you boys did. He came through the youth team and then, of course, went on to play Premier League football. So just goes to show that clubs like Cheltenham in League 2 level have the ability to spark careers like that.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's a massive thing, really. I mean, he's played at the level that all kids dream of playing at. So to have him as the manager and get all the advice off him is brilliant.
Definitely. Let's go for a question then from Charlie. He says, "Who do you reckon has done well for Cheltenham this season? Who are your tips for the players you've watched, you've played alongside, that you think have done really well for the team?"
Obviously, they've all done well, but stand out for me has probably been Connor Thomas this season so far. I think with the injuries to like Liam Sercombe and Chris Clem and stuff like that, I think he stepped up. He's still quite young, and he stepped up at a young age where he's then become a model to people like me and stuff like that, and he's done well and kept the team going. So I think Connor Thomas has done really well.
Yeah, certainly.
Yeah, I agree. Also, I think a lot of the loan lads have done really well for their first experiences in men's football, such as like Josh, Finn, Callum. I think they've been outstanding, but like Tom said, the team's been great, so all done well, really.
Definitely. We've spoken about some of your loan experiences in non-league so far, but of course you've both appeared in the first team as well, across 2 different seasons. Grant, I'll start with yourself, of course, even coming on at Cambridge United a few months ago. Big clash at the top of the table, coming into that sort of back three, playing on the right-hand side and helping the team keep a clean sheet and record what is one of the most important wins of the season.
Yeah.
What was that like coming onto that? Because, being thrown into a game like that, where you're playing against Paul Mullen, who scored 29 goals this season.
Yeah, it was tough. A lot different to my debut at Mansfield. But it shows the confidence that Gaffer has in me and the staff to put me on in a 0-0 situation against top of the league, against the top goal scorer. So it was a great bit of confidence boost for me. But yeah, it was really good to get into that game. Obviously, get the win in the end.
And Chamber, you appeared in, of course, a lot of the trophy games, including, I think, the Portsmouth game, which, of course, is one of the games played in front of fans this season at the Johnny Rock Stadium. What was that like, being thrown into that against a League One team who I think have made the EFL Trophy final, apart from the season just gone, 2 years in a row? They're a team who knew how to win it, and a team that was full of players on good money, who've played at a very good level.
Exactly, yeah. It was a good experience. It was tough physically and mentally. Because they're a very good team, like I said. They're up there in League One. They're doing well. But it was just nice to play in front of the fans as well, which was obviously lucky this season. So it was good.
Is it, when you go into games like that, is it important not to overthink it? Because you could literally be told by the manager, right, you're in the starting 11 a day or two before, and then go home and think about it and think about it and think about it. But actually, when you get out there, it's just a game of football, something you've been doing your whole life. Is that sometimes the issue you can sometimes face psychologically almost?
Yeah, I suppose so. I prepare the same way for every game, so whether I'm playing or whether I'm not playing. But yeah, like you say, you can overthink it, but at the end of the day, it's a game of football. It's what you love doing. It's the same all the time.
Definitely. Well, Charlie says that he remembers the game against Portsmouth that you played and something you did very well. He's proud of you. So definitely, we'll definitely take that comment. Right, we've got a few more minutes to go here on our Teamsheet live broadcast before today's game against Colchester, and we're going to do so very, very chilled out. We're going to put the boys to the test about each other. 5 questions each, and let's see how they do. Who wants to go first?
Go on, that's not how I'm going.
Okay, Grant's going first then. 5 questions on Chamber.
Go on.
Who did Chamber make his first team debut against?
I'm pretty sure it was Exeter in the FA Trophy.
EFL Trophy, yes.
EFL Trophy,
Yes. It's right, you've got the team then.
Yeah,
Nice.
Exeter, yeah.
Correct. 1 point to Grant. Chamber, where has Chamber been out on loan this year?
This year, he's been at Aldershot.
Yes. Oh, Grant, you know your stuff about Chamber. Very impressive. Before Chamber joined Cheltenham, he played youth football in the local area for what team? It's a difficult one because, of course, we're a Hereford club.
Yeah. I want to say Leckhampton. I'm not sure if it's Rovers or Leckhampton, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is he right?
He is right.
Grant, that is incredible knowledge. Great knowledge.
He played for us before.
Oh, yeah, I played in a little tournament.
Oh, what, for Leckhampton?
Yeah, Leckhampton.
Oh, I see. You're getting the Cheltenham team. Right. We've spoken about it already. What was the last first team appearance that Chamber made for the Robins?
I want to say the Portsmouth game.
Correct. Yes, good. He's going to put you under pressure here.
Yeah.
What was the first club that Chamber went out on loan to?
Worcester City.
Correct.
Yeah.
5 out of 5 for Grant. Okay. So
Chamber,
you've got to get all 5 just to get a draw here. Okay. Your 5 questions on Grant Horton. Who did he make his first team debut against?
Mansfield.
Correct. What club has he been out on loan at this year?
Bath City.
Yes, correct. Good knowledge. You know each other's games pretty well. What age did Grant join the club in the academy of? This is a tricky one.
That is a tricky one.
Year or two after me. 11.
Oh no, it was
10 or 9.
no, I've got it down as 9.
Yeah,
so
yeah, 9 then. Oh yeah, under 10's 9. Yeah, 9. Yeah.
Here we go then. In all of the games that Grant has appeared in for Cheltenham first team this season, true or false, they've all ended in clean sheets. He wants to say false, but
Yeah.
50-50. True. Correct.
Oh,
They have all ended in clean sheets. And finally, Grant went on loan to a Southern Premier South club last season. Which club was it? Do you know the answer?
I think so.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
4 points, Chambo. Grant, though, you win 5-4. Unfortunately, it was the age one, which was probably the toughest question that did you, Chambo. But it was a very impressive effort. Just goes to show you do know each other very well. Let's just go for a question. A comment we've had in. Sorry, Andre McRae says may or may not have been having a small stroke in anxiety over the game today. Up the town, support from the Durham Red Army Canadian Robin supporters group. Thanks very much for your support, Andre. And hopefully you're not going to be feeling that nervous during the game. Hopefully you get the job done today.
Yeah.
It is a difficult game though today, of course, boys. Colchester got to the playoffs last season. They've got some good players. They got a really good, crucial win over Southend on Tuesday. So it's going to be a tough one, isn't it?
Yeah, they've just hit their bit of form as well, haven't they? But in this league, anyone can beat anyone. So we take each game as it comes, play each half, and then see what happens half at a time.
Completely. And Chambo, just to finish, what has the mood been like at the training ground this week, especially after the game on Tuesday against Stevenage?
It's just been the same as all season, really. Just cool, calm, and collected. Like, we know what we got to do. Got to stay focused, take each half that comes, and hopefully see where we end up.
Awesome. Yeah, great viewpoints. And that's definitely the feeling around the club right now. Get the job done, one game at a time or one half at a time, like Grant says as well. Brilliant. Right, lads, thanks very much for your time today. I really appreciate it. We'll just finish by saying, of course, today's match is live on iFollow. 3 o'clock kickoff. Make sure you go and get yourself an iFollow Match Pass. Subscribe online at ctfc.com. A big thank you as well to our digital match sponsors today, Cheltenham Radio. We really appreciate them for their support to come and support the game digitally as our match sponsors today. And finally, our match programme, of course, is on sale. Both the print format is online at shop.ctfc.com if you want to buy that for £2.50, or go to the Matchday digital app. Just search for it on your smartphone, £1.99, the digital version of today's match programme. So fingers crossed, come 5 o'clock or so today, we're celebrating another big step towards promotion to League One. It's going to be a tough all afternoon against Colchester, but certainly looking forward to it. Lads, thanks very much for your time. Really appreciate it. Thank you for joining us on Teamsheet Live. We'll be back, of course, on Tuesday night before we play our next home game against Carlisle. But until then, enjoy this afternoon's game, and we'll see you soon.